Well, good morning, friends. I hope everyone had a very nice weekend. I'm really excited to share with you a really cool opportunity where you have the chance to earn a 2% bonus mark that you can assign to any one of your 3 base language classes this fall. And it's a great way for you to get involved within our campus community in a virtual way this term. And so I'm going to walk you through what this opportunity is about, what you have to do to earn that 2% bonus mark, and how we're here to help support you along the way. Now, normally whenever I talk with you, whether it's through WeChat or WhatsApp, I'm often talking about events and activities that are available for you to attend. And to be honest, this is no different. I want this to be a chance for you to be able to, as an incentive, have an incentive to attend our activities, our workshops and events that we are offering in a virtual format. And so there's a lot of reasons I want to talk about as to why we do these events. The reasons as to why we do them, of course, we want you to improve your English speaking and your social skills, but there's so much more to that that we also want to support you with too. We want to help you get more involved in your University of Waterloo community as a base student. We want to also be able to help you prepare for your faculty, learning more about what's available in your faculty, meet other students in your faculty, and learn about the resources and supports that are available to you. And we also want to help you to get to know your classmates and meet new people. Right now in a virtual way, it can be a lot more harder to make friendships with other students on campus because you don't have those opportunities like hanging out in a cafeteria or in the hallways or in between classes. And so we want to be able to provide you with a virtual space where you can also connect with your classmates, learn and meet other students at the University of Waterloo, and be able to practice your skills. And so our events and activities that we promote are really designed to help you do that. We also want to help you learn about the resources at the University of Waterloo. I always tell students that you as an international student pay a lot of money in tuition to study at the University of Waterloo. So you want to get your money's worth out of your education. There are so many resources, services, supports that are available for you as a University of Waterloo student. And we want to help you learn about all of those that are available. And so we will be introducing you to those during our events and our workshops that we offer so that you know how to access those supports, even in a virtual way right now, so that you can be successful. I always say that no student at the University of Waterloo is ever successful by themselves. You need to have your army of resources and supports and the services that are available to help you to be successful in your studies. And so we want to help you know what's available. Things like the Writing Center on campus, things like the Student Success Office and the Student Leadership Program. We talk about a lot of these during the events and workshops so that you know what to access and what's available for you as a student. And also we want to help you develop your student leadership skills. For example, this Friday, we are offering the first Student Leadership Program workshop. It is called New to a Team. And this workshop is designed where you will learn more about teamwork, communication, and interpersonal skills. What I like about the workshops in the Student Leadership Program is that if you attend all 12 workshops during your time as a University of Waterloo student, so that's over the next 4 or 5 years of your degree, if you attend all 12 of the workshops that they have in their program, you earn a certificate signed by the president of the university. This is a really great asset or a resource to have when you apply for future jobs, because now you have this professional development experience added to your resume. And so this Friday, we have a workshop available for only 22 students that are available in base, the first 22 that register. And this workshop is a great way to start earning your student leadership certificate. And so those are some of the ways or reasons as to why we promote all the events and activities for you outside of the base program. And the truth is that to be able to have a successful student experience means that you need to be involved outside of the classroom. It means you need to be thinking of ways that you are building your skills, not just in class, but when you are not in class also. And so we want to help you do that through involvement in different co-curricular activities. The word co-curricular means that they happen in addition to your classes and your courses and the curriculum you're learning in your classes. So therefore, we're going to offer you an opportunity or an incentive to get involved through the base co-curricular ePortfolio. And we hope that this will be an extra incentive to encourage you to become more active in your community. I want to ask everybody right now in the chat, you see at the bottom of your screen, you have some reactions. I would like for you to post a reaction if you have already attended an event or a workshop in the last month, in the month of September, during the base program. Who has attended something already? Tisha, thank you. Danica, awesome. Perfect. So for those of you that haven't yet used the reaction, I really hope this is going to be the incentive to help you to start thinking about how do you get involved this month. The truth is that the more involved you are outside of your classes, the more likely you will actually be successful in your classes. We collect a lot of data, we do a lot of research about students in the base program. And we have found that when students are attending the events and activities, they have a much higher percentage rate of passing the base program. So another good reason for you to get involved is that it will actually help you with your classes. So let's talk about what this actually is. The base co-curricular ePortfolio is a space for you to document and reflect upon your learning and skill development that's gained from participating in virtual University of Waterloo and Renison activities. And so the co-curricular ePortfolio is something that's going to happen online that you will have access to, and you're going to be writing about your experiences attending virtual events and activities. Jane Karanasu, our base program manager, is here today because after I finish speaking, she's going to explain how does it work with the ePortfolio, where are you going to write these things in, and to help understand the website you will use to document and reflect upon your learning in those events and activities. So Jane will talk about that at the end. I want you to know that this assignment is optional. It means you don't have to do it. It's not required of you in order to pass the base program. But if you follow all the guidelines to successfully complete ePortfolio before the end of this term, you can earn a 2% bonus mark. And this bonus mark can be applied to your lowest base language course. So if you're thinking about your classes at the end of this term, you might be thinking, I need to have a 75% in my university strategies course, my writing skills course, and my oral skills course. Now, if you think about that, you might have, maybe a higher mark in a couple of those courses, but maybe you're struggling in one of those courses. Maybe one of them is not quite high enough for you. And maybe you think at the end of the term, I only have 73% in my writing skills course, for example. You could then apply this 2% bonus mark to that course, and it could make the difference for you being able to complete the base program this term. So we really want this to be an extra incentive for you to get involved, but to also ensure that you can be successful this term in base. And so if you're worried about one course in particular, this base co-curricular ePortfolio can be another great way to boost your mark a little bit from that course. So here's what you need to do if you want to earn the 2% bonus mark. The first thing is you have to get involved. So you're going to be required to attend at least 3 virtual events, activities, or workshops within this term. Each time you participate in an event, or the workshop or the activity, you're going to take a photo or a screenshot of your computer screen. So if you know how to take a screenshot, you'll screenshot that so that you can show that you are in the event and you are attending that session. Or you could take a picture of your computer screen with your phone if you're more old-fashioned. And so you'll take that, and that's going to be your proof to say that you attended that specific workshop or event online. The next step is, with that photo, you're then going to create an ePortfolio using PebblePad. You're going to add your pictures or your screenshots of the video that you took to your ePortfolio, and then you're going to accompany each photo with a caption to help explain exactly what it is that we're looking at in the photo. So for example, this photo or this screenshot on your screen was from our Wind-In event on September 25th. And so you'll see the screenshot of the event happening, and then you see a caption below it that says Renison Wind-In Party on September 25th. And so that's your caption for the event. And you'll post both of these in your ePortfolio in PebblePad. And then once you've done that, you're going to then write a 250-word reflection that talks about what did you experience at that event or workshop. And so you'll write a 250-word reflection for each of the 3 events. So in total, 750 words for all 3 events or workshops. And so you should have 3 photos, 3 captions, and 3 reflections to be able to have a full ePortfolio. And then at the end of the term, you will then submit and share your ePortfolio to both myself and to Jane Karanasu. And your portfolio is due on the last day of classes. Your last day of classes is Monday, December 7th. So you might look at that deadline and think, I have a lot of time. But remember, December 7th is going to come really quickly. So you want to make sure that you are attending 3 events, and that you complete that before the deadline, and that you also have written your reflections by that date. Okay. Now we'll talk in a minute about what sort of things you'll talk about in your reflection. But before I do that, do you have any questions? You can either turn on your microphone or write them in the chat. Does it seem pretty straightforward so far? Yeah, Eric, yeah, Eric's nodding his head. So you have to go to 3 virtual events or 3 activities, and that can include a lot of different things. We'll talk about what that looks like too. And then you'll write your reflections and you'll upload everything onto PebblePad, and then you'll share it with both Jane and myself so we have access to see it. And then your 2% bonus mark will be assigned at the end of the term. Okay, I'm seeing no questions so far. I'm going to continue, and then we'll have another opportunity for more questions. Like I said, to be able to earn this mark, you need to have a complete ePortfolio. So we won't be giving any partial marks. You can't just complete one event and earn 1% bonus mark. It's an assignment that is, I call, all or nothing. Either you earn the 2% bonus mark or you don't, if you don't complete everything in it. And so your complete ePortfolio, as I said, includes a minimum of 3 photos or screenshots or videos, whichever you decide. And then you write a small caption, which is just the 1 sentence to explain what the image is. And then you'll also complete 3 complete 250-word reflections, 1 for each of the events or workshops that you attend. The important thing to remember with these reflections is that they really must be thoughtful, they must be comprehensible, and formatted in well-organized paragraphs. Don't worry, you don't need to have sources or conduct any research for it. We just want to hear your perspective, but we want to make sure that what you share is well written and can be understood, and is a very thoughtful reflection. So what do you include in that reflection? Well, there's some things that we want you to try to do when you're answering or composing your reflection. We want to help you to think about some of these questions. For example, you want to first explain, what did you do at that event? You don't want to spend a lot of time giving me a whole overview of what the event's about, because most likely I was the one to help organize the event and plan it, so I know what it was about. But you'll provide a very brief description to help explain it. And then next, you'll want to think about, did the event contribute in any way to your language or conversation skill development? If yes, maybe in what ways? Maybe it helped you with listening skills in some way. Maybe you were able to pick up some more vocabulary. Maybe you were able just to practice small talk during the event. If it didn't contribute, you can explain why you don't feel it did. And then what other skills did you use during the event? Did the event help develop any additional skills that maybe we didn't think about? And you can write about those also. The other part is, did you feel more connected or aware of your university resources or the faculty you're in as a result of participating in the activity? So maybe you felt like, even though we're in a virtual format right now, was there anything that helped you learn more about university life at Waterloo, and what was that like? And then also, how could you have improved the activity or the experience in the future? So any ideas you have about what was effective about the event can be really helpful. I often try to encourage students to think about, think about the purpose. Why would we organize an event like that? For example, why would we organize a student leadership program workshop? Why do you think we would spend money and resources to organize a speed friending event, which by the way is happening this Wednesday? These are some of the questions you can be thinking about in your reflection as to why do we do these type of activities, and why do you think that they're valuable or maybe not valuable for you as a student? And that's what you'll write about in your reflection. I hope that makes more sense. These questions are going to be added into your Pebble Pad as conversation prompts, so you'll be able to look at them later. So how do you get your bonus marks? The biggest thing you want to do is at the end, when you have completed your ePortfolio, make sure you share it through Pebble Pad with both myself and Jane. We will then be able to determine your eligibility for the bonus marks based on the content of your portfolio. So we'll make sure that you have all 3 photos, all 3 captions, and all 3 reflections, and that they are well written. And then once we've done that, your 2% mark will be added to your lowest base course at the end of the term. Now you won't see that mark posted in Learn, but at the very end of the term, it usually happens around December 21st, which is my birthday, by the way. You will see on Quest your final marks for your course. And at that time, the 2% bonus mark will be added into Quest in addition to your final mark for that course. And so that's where you'll see that mark added, but you won't see it within your Learn. Now, can any base activity be included in the ePortfolio? For the most part, yes, but there's some exceptions. The main exception is your mandatory check-in meetings. So last week, all of you were supposed to meet with either myself or AJ or your peer leaders, Alex and Roy. And you were supposed to meet with us for a 15-minute period to answer some questions. That does not count as an event. As much as I think it's fun to meet with me, it's not an event. So those do not count. You're also able to register and book virtual one-on-one meetups where you can meet with myself or AJ or Alex or the peer leaders, but those do not count as a base event either. So you'll want to make sure that you choose something that is part of the base events or the ELI events calendar. And I'll show that in a moment here on the screen. The other rule is you must attend 3 different style activities. So each month we host speed friending during the first week of the month. You can't attend the speed friending events in September, October, and November and use those 3 events as part of this activity. Also, we do weekly conversation hangouts. And those conversation hangouts, you can include one of them, but you can't do all 3 as part of the event. I see Anshi is asking the question about the upper student program is not included, right? I am assuming you mean like the meet and greet events that were happening last week and the week before. That event, if you still had a screenshot or something from that event, that could count. And so you could do that. If you're talking about the conversation partner program, that will not count. So you meeting one-on-one with your conversation partner is a great activity, but it won't count as an event. But if you did go to the upper year student meet and greet and you heard the advice from the upper year students and they talked about their experience on a panel, that was hosted by either myself or Alex, that could count as one of your events if you've already went to it. And we will count an event if you have a photo taken that maybe you did in September. You could use that event still as part of this ePortfolio. But if you didn't take a photo at the event, then you might want to think about attending other events this term. Giselle asks the question, what about if I join or attend something else at UW? This could also count. If you have joined a club or an activity that's happening at the university, you can also use this as part of your ePortfolio. However, remember, they have to be 3 different types of activities. So if you were a part of a club, for example, if you're part of the Chinese Student Association, they might have weekly meetings as part of the Chinese Student Association. However, you can't use all 3 of your ePortfolio entries as just CSA meetings. You have to pick something different. So that way then each of your ePortfolios are really unique and that they have something different. But if you attended something through the university, whether that's a workshop or an event or an activity online, absolutely, you can use those as well for your ePortfolio. If you're confused about what to use, you can always send me a WeChat or a WhatsApp message or an email and ask me, and I can help clarify for you if that event will count towards the ePortfolio. So if you're a little uncertain about something, please ask me and I'll be happy to talk you through it. The goal is, though, that we just get you involved virtually through something in your campus community. So it has to be an event run through the University of Waterloo, through clubs, or through Renison and the English Language Institute. I hope that helps. Now, in terms of other things, here is the event calendar. If you look at the events calendar, you have a lot of options for things that you could be attending to earn your ePortfolio. To be honest, you could attend 3 events this week and finish your ePortfolio at the end of this week. Now that's really ambitious, and I don't expect you to do that. But you have many opportunities to get involved in what's available for US students. How I explain the events calendar to people so that you can understand what's available is to read it, understanding that every Monday, or most Mondays, you have a workshop happening. So those are workshop Mondays. And those are normally 45-minute workshops that you can attend that are helping you to build skills in a different area. You have Tapping Tuesdays with our counselor, Rita, and she's working, she helps you with a mindfulness technique to address stress. And so that's a half-hour activity you could choose to attend. Wednesdays are your social events. So that's where you see speed friendings happening this Wednesday. In a couple weeks, we have Renison Bingo. There's the Cross Canada virtual bus trip. And so you can choose to attend those also. On Thursdays, those are your social days as well, but more conversation focused. And so every Thursday, your peer leaders host conversation hangout. And this is a chance where you can just come and practice small talk and to converse with your peer leaders. And every now and then they'll also do different games and activities during the conversation hangout. This week they're doing a special Thanksgiving edition because Thanksgiving is happening next week in Canada. And so they'll talk to you more about what is Thanksgiving in Canada and what type of traditions that we have as part of Thanksgiving. And then Friday, you have Leadership Fridays. So these are times when we organize different leadership workshops, and also the student volunteer team, the ELI Vlog volunteer team, meets every second week to help organize and to develop videos talking about what are good news happening in our communities. And so there's a lot of different things that you can choose to attend. I recommend that you take a picture of this calendar. I've also posted it in your WeChat and your WhatsApp groups, but this is a good reference for you to find out what's happening and when it's happening. And so you could attend 3 events within this calendar, and then you could write about those and share that as your co-curricular ePortfolio. Now, there's also going to be a calendar for November and a small calendar for December. And so if you don't get to attend all 3 events this month, Don't worry, you still have the month of November where there will be many things happening and some things in December. But my advice is do not leave it to the last minute because you're going to be very busy with final assignments at the end of this term. If you already think you're busy right now, it's going to get a lot busier soon, friends. So you want to try to do this earlier if you can, just so that you can address it as soon as you can. And I also hope that it's a good way for you to learn about some of the resources available now by attending the activities available. A great event for you even today you could attend is the Usefulness of Mindfulness workshop that is being hosted by Rita as well as your student advisor, AJ. And it's happening at 11 o'clock today. And they're going to be talking about how to use mindfulness as a strategy to deal with stress and to be able to lower your stress levels during busy times in the school year. So I hope that helps in terms of what are some of the opportunities you can get involved in. If you have more questions about the ePortfolio, you can always message me on WeChat or WhatsApp, or you can email both Jane and I, and we'll be happy to help walk you through what you need to do with your ePortfolio if you have any problems. Does anyone have any questions right now otherwise about their ePortfolio? Was it clear to understand? Yeah? Okay. I'm going to pass it over to Jane here now because Jane is going to show you how do you use PebblePad to post to your ePortfolio and what you'll need to do. So do I need to give you hosting abilities, Jane?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, great. And just a minute to put up my screen. All right, so you should now see my Waterloo Learn page. Yep, great. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to spend a few minutes sort of walking you through the process of creating your ePortfolio. So what you will do is first of all go into Learn as you would for entering any of your courses. So I have entered here as a test student in one of my courses, which is why I only have one thing showing up. You should have 3, 4, 5 little boxes on the front of your Learn shell. So what you're going to do is click on the PebblePad Plus that appears at the top. So you are using the same system as you use for your workbooks. However, your workbooks in each of your courses have been set up for you, and you are simply filling in the information as you go through the week. In this case, for this ePortfolio, you are actually going to be creating your portfolio and then sharing it with Ryan and I. So instead of going into any of your courses, you directly click the PebblePad Plus sign at the top. And it will take you to the dashboard, which is your personal PebblePad site. So what you are going to do is to click on this thing at the top, which they call the burger menu. So the 3 lines at the top. When you click on this, it gives you the opportunity to enter different areas in your PebblePad. What you will need to do for this portfolio is get creative. Okay, so you've gone to your Pebble Plus site, you've clicked on the burger menu here at the top, and you are now getting creative and clicking on that piece here. This gives you the opportunity to be creating a variety of pieces. What you want for this assignment is a portfolio. So you're just clicking on the first piece and creating a portfolio. Notice you will always get multiple sort of notifications to save your work. If you do not save your work on PebblePad, you do lose it. You cannot be recovering it. So do make sure you are saving. Again, a lot of messages will click up here and there reminding you to save your work. Okay, So this is what a new portfolio will look like. And what you are going to do is adapt it in any way you wish in order to be creating your own site. So here, again, as Ryan has said, basically what you need to be doing is adding a picture, some kind of photograph, your caption, and then also a reflective piece where you are writing 250 words. Okay, so on each of these pages, as it says here, you could, for example, do one of your activities. So here, this page, I'm going to add content, and I would like to, first of all, add an image. Okay, so I'm clicking on the add content, add image, and here we go. Now, in order to add an image to PebblePad, you do need to first upload the picture to what we call your asset store. So very much as you upload pictures to your laptop, to your computer, it's the same kind of system. So I'm opening my asset store. I don't have any pictures there at the moment. Let me upload a new one. I'm just going to drag a file over there with a picture. So hopefully you can see me dragging the picture there. So just from my laptop, my computer. Selected file, it's here. My file is ready to upload. I'm simply scrolling down and clicking confirm. Okay. And by confirm, upload, my picture is appearing here. I can make that bigger if I wish. I can do whatever I want with it. Okay, so photo, an event I attended. I can then be adding more content. Here I want to add something underneath. So for example, event 1, let's say walking Wednesdays with other people at Renison, etc. And I would add my reflection, my 250 word reflection here. Okay. That is a very basic overview. Obviously in PebblePad, there are many more things you can be doing. You can be replacing your image that you have here in your banner. Obviously adding any kind of content you wish here by clicking on the add content. If you wanted to be putting in a video, if you wanted to be adding a quote, for example, or even a short audio file, this is up to you. Okay, so that would be, for example, my page 1 complete. If I want to add my second page, I can simply go here to the cross at the top and I will add a new page. And again, let me do this a third time. I'm going to add a new page here as well because my portfolio is going to be containing 3 different types. Okay. The other thing that's just useful to know, again, it's a lot of information if you can remember this. If you want to change the title here, you are clicking on this little cog. And here I can just be putting, for example, event 1, confirm, and I've changed the name of that. Okay. So that is basically showing you how to be creating your portfolio. So in Learn, you go to the Pebble Plus, you go to the burger menu, you click on Create Portfolio, and you start adding your content as you wish. So once you have played around with that and got used to that, again, if you want to delete anything, you're just clicking the crosses at the top. Once you have prepared your portfolio and you think, okay, that's ready, now I want to share it, there is a process by which you are adding my email and Ryan's email in order to be sharing your portfolio with the both of us. So with your workbooks in your classes, it's shared automatically with your instructor. For this workbook, you actually need to be manually sharing with your instructor. So here, you would click on the I want to at the top of the page. So let me just add a name here, Jane Portfolio, confirm. All right, so I want to. Can you see the pop-ups here when it pops? Yes, that's good. Okay, so I want to share. So I'm clicking on the share and it says here, I want to share the following asset. Yes. here and I would like to share it with people. So it's not with Atlas for feedback, assessment and review. You are sharing it with people. Okay. So once you have decided that you are sharing it with people, you can start entering a name. So Ryan Connell, not in my contacts here, surprisingly, but I will look for other PebblePad users. So again, oops, that's coming up neatly there. So once I have added Ryan here and I'm going to search and his email will pop up. I could simply add his email there as I know it, but his email is there, it pops up. So what do I want to do? I would like Ryan to leave me a comment. Okay, it's nice for him to be able, and me as well on your PebblePad, to be able to leave a comment here. That is the only thing you need to click, and then you would simply share asset. So once you have shared that asset, Ryan will receive an email and it will say, okay, Jane is sharing your portfolio. So now Ryan can go in and have a look. So you need to go through that process for both Ryan and for myself to share it with the both of us so that we can have a look at it, we can decide on the 2%, and then this will be put into your final marks on Quest for your lowest base course. Not for your credit course, this only applies to your base courses. Okay, so that is a very quick overview of the process of creating a portfolio through Pebble Plus. If any of you have questions, if any of you have difficulties doing that, do get in touch with me, send me an email and I can walk you through that process of how you can be doing this. But I think once you go into it and start playing around, it's quite clear what it is you need to be doing. But do remember the I want to piece at the end where you are sharing it with Ryan and myself. Okay. Any questions there? Any questions? Any concerns? No. So it is a good idea to be creating your portfolio as you are attending the event. So for example, you attend the first event, create your first page. However, do not share it with Ryan and I until you have completed it. Okay, it can get quite confusing if we receive one page here and one page there because we are trying to look at a completed portfolio. And remember, there are no part marks for this, so you do need to be completing those 3 events with the reflections in order to be considered for that 2%. So only send the portfolio to Ryan and I once you have completed all 3 events. Okay. And as Ryan said, so the deadline we have for this is the 7th of December. This is actually a hard deadline because we do need to be getting your marks up to Quest and up to Learn probably the day after that. So again, there is very little time to be, oh, now I'm just completing it, I'll send you next week. I'm afraid that once the marks have been sent off to Quest, then there are no changes being made there. So again, 7th of December, do be aware that you do need to have shared your ePortfolio by then. Okay. All right. All right, so that is all I wanted to say about this process. Again, do get in touch with either Ryan or I, if you have any questions on this. I think Ryan will be posting this recording to the Student Experience site, so it will be there. And again, I think our emails are in various places all over Learn, Base, etc., for you to find us. Okay. All right. So from me, if there are no more questions,
I just wanted to add that Jane brought a really good point, that it's a good idea that when you attend an event to try to write the reflection not long after you have attended the event. A tip that students have told me in the past is that it makes it a lot harder to write your reflection if you attend an event this week but don't write it until December, because it's hard to remember by then. So the best advice is try to do it the same week, if not the same day or after that you have attended the event. It'll just make it easier for you. Okay.
Mhm.
Any other questions for us though, as we wrap up? Okay, great. Well, if you do think of anything after today, you can always send us a message or an email, and I'm always happy to help answer any questions you have, as well as Jane. So thank you so much, everyone, and I can't wait to read your ePortfolios, and I hope to see you at our next event. Thank you.
All right, thank you everybody. I think you have office hours with Giselle now, so enjoy that. All right. Bye now.
Bye,
Bye.
folks.